Details about him, that's all I need to talk about his achievements. His group's vision, and this is really something, is to deliver everything, everywhere, every time, to every Indian consumer in the most profitable manner. That's a large basket of things. And because he has to make it happen, he's got a vertical expansion business. So he's got retail. Retail needs to be funded, so he's got finance. Retail needs space and has to be in the business of space. And so he's in that area. And retail needs media, so he's in that area. He covers it all. A colossus who straddles his business. Last year, the National Retail Federation voted him the International Retailer of the Year. Now, this is the world's largest retail trade association with over 1.4 million members in the US and across the world. That's recognition. He was also awarded the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year and the Lakshmipati Singhania IIM Lucknow Young Business Leader Award by the Prime Minister. Equally, I think, a recognition is that brand names and companies such as Marks & Spencer, Debenhams, Next, Guess, Lee Cooper, and such are in sole partnership with him in India. Last but not the least, Kishore Biyani has a point of view. He's not one of these financiers who produces the money and drives people to run a business. He has a point of view. It may not be one that you agree with all the time. We remember some years ago that the Bombay group, as they call them, my friend Rahul Bajaj and a few others, were vocal about the government not opening up industry to foreign investments. I've heard him say that a few times as well, at least in the retail area. Perhaps he'll tell us more about how he feels on that today. However, it's happening. They are coming in. Walmart is here through the back door already. Could Carrefour be too far away and Tesco be too far away? We'll be watching, Mr. Biyani, to see what you do. We have no doubt whatever that as the first mover, you'll stay up there in front. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to very warmly welcome Kishore Biyani, our speaker today. And just to sweeten the pill, we've got Sadhika Peerboy. Would you please come up and give the gentleman a bouquet of flowers?
Good evening, friends. Thanks for the great introduction. I'm not a great orator nor a great speaker. I don't know why a dukandar like me is being called here. But finally, what it says is dukandars are getting noticed. I come from a small, very large joint middle-class family. And for us to reach here has been a great journey. The way we started business was being a textile supplier to the textile industry. So I've gone through making yarn, making textile, supplying to the garment industry, building up brands, getting into retail. Then once we decided we have to get into, besides retail, we have to look at the consumption business. Just to give you a perspective, retail is the single largest business one can ever get in. It's the largest canvas. Today, if you look at retail, out of the total $800 billion economy, $280 to $300 billion is private consumption. So you can't get a bigger canvas than that. If you look at telecom, if you look at cement, no businesses are more than 30,000 crores or 40,000 crores. Retail is 10 lakh crores. You can't get much bigger business or opportunity or a canvas to work on. If you look at the economic growth of India, India is growing at nearly 8 to 10% now every year. With this kind of economic growth, we are going to add up another $400 billion to our economy in the next 5 to 6 years. Out of which probably $200 billion is going to be the new consumption which will happen in this country. So current 300 plus another 200 is $500 billion of consumption economy. And that's what is a big business which everybody is looking at. The world wants to come here, the Walmarts of the world, the Carrefours, probably because the new $200 billion economy plus the existing economy is a big economy for them to look at. Modern retail, which I represent, is still not a big percentage of the total business. A lot of people say it's 3%, but our assessment, it's around 6 to 7% of the total economy now. And if you look at cities, they are closely inching it to 10 to 15% of the total trade now in the city. In a city like Bangalore, probably I would say it's around 18 to 20% modern retail, which is representing the total business. So modern retail is a growing business, and a lot of people are into this business. It just started 10 years ago, 97 or 94, when Shoppers Stop opened their first departmental stores. We came in a little later. But since then, there is a lot of interest which has been generated, and we believe this business is growing nearly at around 25 to 30% of India. I think this is all happening with the kind of liberalization which the government started in 92. And I also call it another, we call it another I was born to a socialist parent. My parents never taught me to spend. In fact, spending was a taboo, a pap in our family. I think we had our own Gandhian principles, or some principles of saving. India was not a rich country, and saving was supposed to be one of the biggest virtue. And then we look at US or America. I think that economy is totally driven out of consumption. The more you consume, more powerful you become as an economy. Fortunately for us, I have been born to a socialist parent, but my daughter, she is here, but my children are born to a democratic parent. So they are spending. They don't know what is a ration shop or a public distribution system. They don't know the queues which we used to stand in to get into a cinema hall. I think that world is over. They have never been to a high street for shopping, more or less. They have gone into malls. So I think the new people who are born to democratic parents are the people who are going to drive our business. They have not seen the older stores. They have not seen the kirana walas. So that's going to change India. And if you look at India, India is a very young country. 60% of the population is below 30 years of age, and probably a lot of them are born to democratic parents, and they are going to change the way India consumes. And I probably feel they don't have the guilt of consumption as much as I had. And I think that guilt, once it is taken out and we become a consuming society, we can become the most powerful nation on this earth. We are the only that leg of the world where there is nowhere in the world there are more than 1 billion customers lying unutilized or not spending money. So you can't get a bigger market than this. So whether we can create a capacity in people to consume more, how we can use the power of Indian consumers to make India a very vibrant and a strong economy. I think my theory about foreign retailers again comes from the fact that India's biggest asset today is the consumers which India has. And if we open up FDI today, we'll just get $1 billion or $2 billion of investment. If you look at one company, P&G paid money, $57 billion to buy one company called Gillette, $57 billion. And Indians, 1 billion customers will be sold for $1 billion. I want Indian government to get more money. They should use this as a big asset, as a big weapon to get more money into the country. It's not about allowing them or not allowing them. It's a business, and nobody should come in free of cost. So that's my view. And if it is nationalistic, if it is Bombay Club, I don't mind that view in any which way. But I believe India's a great country, emerging nation. A lot of things are going right for the country. The demographics are in our favor. There's so much opportunity left. There's so much opportunity which the government or the business is giving us, and we are all seizing the momentum. So the way also we look at India is quite different. I think I have not been a marketing student, but we have created a new way of looking at things which I want to discuss. The way we look at India, the way we look at the markets, the way we apply management theory in our business. It's quite different than a traditional B school marketeers, because we use two techniques, which is quite different than a lot of people in the world. We use every solution, every problem, and every solution comes out of a design solution. We strongly believe that our education system trains people, that is especially the B schools, they train people to look at one side of the brain, that is the logical side and the rational side of the brain. The art schools teach you the visual side and the aesthetic side of the brain. But we believe strongly in business, you have to use the both sides of the brain, the left side as well as the right side of the brain. So we train all our people to look at everything through a design. Let's solve a problem through a design solution. So we probably are one of the mentors of one of the largest design firm in probably this part of the world, with more than 200 designers working here. We use multidisciplinary design skills to solve every problem. So it is a space design, a product design, a graphic design, communication design, interactive design. So every problem, we take it through a design solution, and that has helped us in doing business. Other thing which we do quite differently is we don't believe in market research. We build our own hypothesis and validate it by building up a prototype very fast. All our ideas gets converted into a prototype in the speed of around 60 to 90 days. And once we test it out with the consumers, whatever feedback we get from them, we correct it, we change it, and we redo it again. I think last year we were able to launch more than 26 ideas, which were converted into prototypes, which were tested with the consumers, and out of which I would say most of them worked. 24 of them worked from the way we had conceptualized. So we strongly believe that India, since it's an emerging market, we cannot just copy a Western model and just bring it here. The demographics of India, again, we believe the consuming class in India is still quite limited. For us, our assessment is we again look at the segmentation, the way you all segment advertising and marketing people, SEC, A, B, C. We don't look at that data at all. We believe India consists of three classes of people. One is the consuming class, the aspirational class we call them. The second is the serving class, the people who serves the consuming class. And third is basically the have-nots who are struggling to make their ends meet. For us, India 1 only represents around 16% of the population. And the people who serve India 1 are more than 50% of the population. For every one India 1, there are 3 India 2 people. And they are the people who live in slums, they are the people who are around. If you look at a city like Bombay, only 18% people live in apartments. 60% people live in slums, and balance we don't know where do they live. He was referring to somewhere about me outside my shop. So, but that's the fact of India. We are all hoping this 18% will grow, and they will become a big number. But unfortunately, in India, the consuming class don't give enough money to the serving class. If you all ask how much we pay our drivers, our domestic help, we'll come to know whether they will ever become our consumers ever in our stores. Probably not. It's not going to happen probably for the next 10 years or 15 years. So this consuming class still is not a big class, but if you look at the total size, it's still 160 million to 200 million people. In that sense, it's not small. It can represent any developed society anywhere in the world. But India is, a lot of people look at this middle class and come to India, and there is a lot of data which is thrown about 250 million people, 300 million people. But India too doesn't yet shop in a modern store. We are trying to work on a format to deal with this India too, which will be probably on the drawing board now. But we are looking at microcredit to give them money to spend in our stores because they won't have money enough to spend in us. We are working on that model. That will take a while. But till then, I'd like to throw a little bit about the way we look at India. I want to show a film about the way we have conceptualized the Future Group, which is all about capturing India's consumption. We have looked at the consumption, the consumer class, where do they spend money. If they spend money on food, we have a concept called Food Bazaar, which captures that spending. We are the largest seller of food in the country today. If you look at fashion, we have a lot of delivery formats to capture the spending, which is Pantaloons, Big Bazaar, Central, Brand Factory, Marks & Spencer, Debenhams, Indigo Nations, Colors, plus we have more than 84 brands in the fashion business. Then it's consumer electronics where people spend money. We have formats like Electronic Bazaar, E-Zone, which captures that spending. Then we have furniture. We have something called Collection Eye, Furniture Bazaar. We are building up another large format called Hometown to capture the home building market and the new apartments which are coming up in the country. We are in health, beauty, and wellness. We are in leisure entertainment. We run the bowling company in Bombay. We run a lot of restaurants called Cream Center, Copper Chimney, Bombay Blues, Noodle Bar, Gelato Ice Cream. So we are there wherever the consumers are willing to spend money. If they don't have money, we'll give them money to spend with our finance business. And if they have more money than what they can spend, they can invest with us. We have our asset management company. So we look at the wallet of the consumer, and we want the maximum share of it. I'll try to take you through two of our two films, one about how we are looking at India at this moment, and another thing about what I call this as a new economy. We call it the creative economy, and how we look at the creative economy. That's what I want to show through my next presentation.